Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Plenty with Sulo. Our venue partner, Department of Coffee. Clothing partner, GFlock. Be tuned to Daily Mirror Online. Hello everyone, this is Plenty with Sulo. Today we have a lady who walks the talk on women empowerment, a lady who ventured many programs for women empowerment in Sri Lanka. She is the CEO of Chrysalis and she is Ashika Gunasena Sera Sundar. Am I correct?
Correct, absolutely.
I'll call you Ashika, so it's easy.
Yeah.
Ashika, this is an informal discussion.
Yeah.
Just want to get your view on women empowerment and what you do.
Yeah.
So before we start the conversation on to the other things, I want to ask you, how you got into this women empowerment thing?
Yes. It happened quite by accident. I mean, my professional background is in science, neuroscience, in fact.
Okay.
But when I came back from my university, I was actually not really connecting with the employment I was looking at. So a relative of mine said to volunteer in an organization she was working for, and I volunteered and I got very inspired by what they were doing. Particularly, I got to travel to many parts of Sri Lanka, talk to women, understand what's going on. And I felt that something was really wrong, the way that we're treating women. And I think that really got me to this work. So everything that I have learned on women's empowerment, gender equality has been through my work. And
So it's a hands-on experience that
exactly.
I have.
Rest is history. I mean, I studied what these things mean, but I think it's just through my sheer experience working in communities that I know what I know and do what I do.
Do what you love to do.
Exactly.
If I say that.
Exactly.
So this is something I want to ask you. You know, why we need women to be empowered, and what is your view on the men empowerment?
So, I mean, it's always that, I mean, in Sri Lanka, as you know, 52% of the population are women.
Yeah.
And their contribution to the economy is well understood. I mean, I don't want to go through that. But their contribution to all other societal aspects is also under-registered or underrepresented. So, unless you really engage half of your population in the way that the country grows, I think we are doing something wrong. So for me, it is about harnessing the capacities, the knowledge, and the sheer experience that women have towards the betterment of the country. If you don't do that, for me, it's almost like economics. If you don't do that, then we are coming up with half-baked solutions.
Yeah.
Now, when we say gender equality, we don't really mean, therefore, that we empower women only, right? Gender equality means that we are looking at the relationships between women and men and people who identify as other genders. So men's empowerment and men's appreciation as to why women should be part of the country's development is also very critically important. So understanding the reasons why women are marginalized, but also why is it that men don't understand the reason why women should be engaged is also something we should collectively address. Because if you look at men also, and we've done research through our work, we know that so much of, there are many reasons as to why men perpetuate violence, for example. So we need to understand that. There is a system that defines how women should behave and how men should behave. And that system is not always equal. And therefore, we have all these issues. And therefore, men and women don't contribute to the well-being of their own families, but also the well-being of the country equally. So I think that is why when we talk about gender equality and women's empowerment, it's not enough to only continue to capacitate women. That's very important, but we need to understand the reasons why women are not capacitated in the first place. And that leads you to working with men.
My question, the other question also coming into that, because you know men also has some pressure from the society, and we want men to be the breadwinners, strong people, and that itself may bring some of the pressure.
Yeah.
And do you think, like, because Sri Lanka very recently, if you look at the recent figures, Sri Lanka has so much of domestic violence, right?
Yeah.
And so, do you think that pressure on men is the reason for these to be increased?
Yes, I mean, I think the answer to that question is quite complex. But what you're saying is also very true. I mean, again, from what we know, uh, as much as we say women to be the caregivers, the people who take care of families, take care of societal values, we also place the same, we also have certain norms that say that men should behave in a way, right? So, for example, as you said very correctly, we say you have to go out there and earn an income for everyone, not just your nuclear family, but your extended family. You also say you must defend the honor of your family. You also say you must be aggressive. You must display leadership. You must talk loud. So, as much as we place certain values on women, we also place certain values on men.
If the men does not look like that, we say, oh,
Yes.
minihek neme.
Meme, exactly.
Yeah.
Minihek neme, minihek page gahagannevat nahe. So we have all these things which also put pressure on men. And as I said, research also shows that there is a correlation between those societal expectations of men and their mental health and also their physical health sometimes. So when we try to address gender equality and fix things, we need to understand that full picture.
360-degree picture of it.
Yeah.
As you said, when women also ask for the equality, we have to then look at, are we ready to accept a man who's a house husband, right?
Yes.
So that also, women also has to play a role on that.
Absolutely. I mean, it's also how we are being also raised. I mean, we always say to the husband, your role would be to find a job and do that. And we tell the women, even if you find a job, and these days you do need to both work,
It's an extra income,
extra
not
income,
the main
not
income.
the main income. Exactly, exactly. So that is why we need to begin to accept that if a woman is capable of earning more income for that household, why not the man take care of the children and do everything else, right? So, but that we are a long way, still away from there. But in many other societies, these issues are changing. And I believe it also takes courage on the part of women and also on the part of men to really start making those changes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think both, when they realize the marriage is a partnership, not something for society, I think things will change. So I'm shifting yourself as a mother and a wife, right? We speak, it's easy to speak in the society, you know, equality and equity.
Yes.
But when it comes to our own families, we also have unconscious biasness because we are being wired like that.
Yes.
Do you think all these norms and society expectations can be changed at home? If so, what is the role of the parents?
I think so, and you're very right. I mean, I have a daughter and a son, and I know the way that I treat them as well, and they always make me very aware that I also have a bias, despite me being, someone who really believes in women's rights. My daughter will always point out that, my desire to protect her, don't go out till late, come home, don't do this and that. I may not place the same requirements on my son.
Tell me about it.
Exactly. But I think you're absolutely right, Sulo, because unless we begin to change things at home, nothing can really change, because most of our socialization from a very young age happens at home, right? So if your mother and your father are telling you or expecting certain things from you, then that is what you take to society, right? So, I mean, in Sri Lanka, it's also kind of strange, because if you look at education, you have more women in universities in Sri Lanka.
Yeah.
But then that's where it stops. You don't, that doesn't get translated into productivity or workplaces.
Yeah.
The reason is because you have been taught and you have been socialized to believe that as a woman, the primary role is to take care of family. Once you do that, then doing something to earn an income is okay. But as you said, not the main income.
Yeah.
So it's extremely important to start talking to your young children at home. But I think things also have to change in schools. I mean, an example, if I may have the time to do it, I mean, in school textbooks, you say Father is going to work. Tatta varadayano,
No,
amma
they are
gedara
also
vadata.
giving you because very recently a mother
Yeah.
brought a
Yeah.
son
Yeah.
who has been punished by the teacher
Yes.
because they had to write down the role of a mother
Mother
and
and
father.
exactly.
So this boy has written Tata Uyanama.
Yes.
Tata. So the teacher has said, no, eka venna behe.
Exactly. That
So
you're lying. Yeah.
yes, so I think
Yeah.
that, as you said, school
Yeah.
system means the teachers.
Absolutely. So there's a lot of things to do, but I think the place to begin is at home. But that means that parents, therefore, also have to be made aware that your own behavior, I mean, if the father is never to be seen doing any domestic work, your sons are learning that. Your daughters are learning that because when they want to get into a partnership, with someone, they also think that that's what's expected of a man and that's what's expected of me. So, role modeling is extremely important, even for women to feel, you know, I earn an income, I have respect in my society, I have respect in my home. When you demonstrate that, then your children also learn the same things. But if you don't, they are also understanding that that's what reality is.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I'm asking you something
Yeah.
out of the textbook.
Yes.
Because this very recently, one of the religious leaders said,
Yeah.
you know, these women rights and women empowerment has made more divorces in Sri Lanka. Making your daughters independent is the reason for high divorce.
Yes.
So, if I may ask from your view, making an independent daughter, is it a positive way or is it the reason that young girls or young marriages are breaking
No.
out?
Making your daughter independent and your son sensitive and respectful is the only way to go. Your religious leaders may tell you otherwise. Divorce, there are many reasons for divorce. It's not attributed to only a woman being assertive. But again, if a woman is in an unhappy relationship, that is her right to decide to do otherwise. It's the right of a man as well. So just because women are independent and think for themselves, that is not the reason for divorce, right? But that does not also mean that we don't make women independent,
Yeah.
right? I think what's more important, I believe, is also to make men a lot more sensitive and respectful for themselves as well, but also the people in their lives. So I also think that brings me back to something. So it is schools, but it's also religious institutions that may be inculcating or cultivating these norms that are not good for women or for men. Right? So I think religious leaders also need to understand how can they help in kind of ensuring a more respectful society, because ultimately, Sulo, it is about respect.
Yeah.
How much do I respect my partner and vice versa, right? So how do we cultivate those values in children and in adults, so that it doesn't really, end in violence, it doesn't end in divorce or breaking up of relationship, and ultimately it's love and respect, right, that enables societies to grow. So how do we make sure that young girls and young men do that? Because we always focus, that's one of the concerns that we've been having about the women's rights work, is we have focused very much on women's empowerment, and that's something we have to do. But I think we also need to work on the other side now to really help men and people of all genders really understand, what does it mean? What does respect mean? Why is it that we discriminate? What are the reasons for it?
I think respect comes because a lot of people doesn't understand friendship.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Because in a friendship,
Yes.
you tell what is right, what is wrong.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So if you have a right friendship, the
Yes.
respect automatically comes.
Yes.
We are losing good friends
Yes.
due to our own, like the words like marriage,
Yes.
the society norms.
Yeah. And it's also a choice. I mean, marriage is a choice, divorce is a choice. I mean, we can't take that away from women. I mean, I have married, I have chosen to have children. That's my choice. And I'm in that relationship as an equal partner. And I feel respected by people around me, in the workplace, in my home. And then I feel I can contribute more. And I think every woman, every man should feel that. That is what we have to be responsible for.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
So I'm coming my final question
Yeah.
on the laws and legal
Yep.
system. Sri Lanka has we say we have some more laws, but again we have some reforms which came to the law. But
Yeah.
with all that law, still we see women, because some of the major thing is a young girl get raped by a family member. Then she goes on to the safer house while the man gets out on
Yeah.
bail,
Yeah.
right? And
Yeah.
she loses her childhood, the background of families and everything. And do you think still we have issues because women are not aware of these things, or women does not want to come out and ask for help?
Yeah, I think the law in Sri Lanka generally, there are some laws that enables women's access to justice.
Yeah.
The Domestic Violence Act is one example. Now, the problem with that is, even though the law exists, one thing is about awareness. How do I know what it means? What rights do I have? That's a challenge. But even if I know, in order to get that justice, I need to jump through so many hurdles, right?
Yes.
Starting from your family, because your family is going to say, don't make a stir here.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't make a fuss. You're a woman, you deal with it. You can, I'm sure, live with this. Don't worry about it. Then you have the police, the legal system, who don't always take the side of the victim. And in this case, often it is a woman. So even though the laws exist, there are many things that we have to do around awareness, around understanding of these things, and really enabling a woman to seek justice. It could be your friends, as you said, who tell you, please don't make a fuss, because I'm sure he'll be over it. He'll be okay tomorrow, right? Then your parents are telling you the shame of this in our family. So you're not enabling anyone. So we need to change the laws when necessary. But when laws exist, we need to create that enabling pathway for women or men to seek justice.
Yeah, so just not having law will not help us, but making that awareness from all these stages
Yeah.
is more important.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really agree with you. Now, Ashika, I forgot to ask this, so I'm going to ask you.
Yeah.
You have this, hermaid, women entrepreneurs bringing their products,
Yeah.
and I'm someone who passionate about all this.
Yes.
Just give a brief about your online shop.
Sure. So we have a online platform called Made by Her, and that platform is for women entrepreneurs from wherever you might be. And then you register in that, and then we kind of enable you to get your products online. And also help you to kind of increase the quality of the product, get the standardization that it requires, and then we do the marketing with you. And we don't necessarily keep any profit. We do have a small margin to make sure that our costs are covered, but that platform is entirely for women to be able to sell their products. And these products are from so many districts from around the country. And what we are finding is that women from everywhere are also getting digitally very, very aware. And what we find is right now their markets are very small. It's in a particular location, right? So we want them to able to expand their marketing space in Sri Lanka, but maybe eventually overseas as well. So if there are entrepreneurs who are really keen, please do connect with us, madebyher.lk, and then we will be able to talk to them and tell them what we offer, and then have their product online.
That's a great opportunity for all our entrepreneurs. So today we had Ashika who spoke about empowerment, gender equality, equity, and also the responsibility of parents, teachers, and religious leaders. She said it's a human thing. Sometimes society expects us to be someone whom we are not. And it's a choice of a man or woman. And end of the day, we all want to be happy. So think positively that women empowerment and also gender equality is nothing to do with women only. It's for men, women, and other people. The respect, she made sure that we understand the word of respect. It matters in all relationships. When women are empowered, automatically the whole family is empowered. It means the society and our country. Think about it in a positive way. Thank you, Ashika, for coming, and it's a pleasure to have you.
Thank
I
you
think
for
I
having
gain
me.
a lot of knowledge from you.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep.
And this is Plenty with Sulo.